That's us in the open session again, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Clerk, and thank you, members. So we will resume then, and members, I will now go to the clause by clause consideration and put each of them in turn formally to the committee for agreement. So first of all, in terms of clause 1, the autism strategy and data, is the committee content with clause 1 as drafted? Yeah, committee content, thank you. The committee is content with clause 1 as drafted. Moving on to clause 2, members, additional components of the autism strategy. There are 4 previously agreed committee amendments to this clause. One is to clause 2, page 1, line 17, after autism, insert support and. Are members content with this amendment? Content, thank you. The second amendment then in that is in clause 2 on page 2, line 7, and it says that at end we will insert brackets, CA, close brackets, physical health. Are members content? Thank you. Moving on then to point 3 on that clause. In terms of clause 2, this is on page 2 at line 9, that we would at the end of brackets F, we would add in or insert housing. Members content? Thank you. And then are members content with this amendment, clause 2, page 2, line 9, at the end that we insert after 4E, the autism strategy must set out how the department will reduce waiting times for autism assessment and treatment services provided by HSC trusts. Are members content with this amendment? Yeah, thank you. So then, members, I'm going to put the question, is the committee content with clause 2 as amended? Yeah, committee content. The committee is content with clause 2 as amended. Thank you, members. So moving on then, members, to clause 3, which is to do with the methodology of the autism strategy. And there have been 2 previously agreed committee amendments to the clause. The first one is clause 3, page 2, line 17, where we have agreed that we would like to, after multidisciplinary, insert and cross-departmental. Are members content with that amendment? Yeah, thank you. And then clause 3, page 2, line 18, we had agreed that we would prefer to leave out subsection 4 and insert instead for subsection 4, the autism strategy must set out how consistency of practice is to be achieved across HSC trusts and across A, HSC trusts, and B, education services. So members content? Yeah, thank you, members. So I'll therefore put the question on clause 3, members. Is the committee content with clause 3 as amended?
Yeah.
Yeah, committee content. Thank you. The committee is content with clause 3 as amended. Thank you. Moving on then to clause 4, annual autism funding reports. So I'm going straight to, there's no amendments indicated here, so I'm going straight to the question, is the committee content with clause 4 as drafted? Yeah, committee content. The committee is content with clause 4 as drafted. Thank you. Clause 5, autism reviewer. So there is one previously agreed committee amendment to the clause, and that was that amendment option 2, that a clause option 2 as we have agreed there previously. At clause 5, page 3, line 16, at the end we would insert 1A. The autism reviewer must not be a person employed by a Northern Ireland department. 1B, the autism reviewer is not subject to the direction or control of the Northern Ireland departments. And 1C, but this is subject to the requirement under this section for the department to pay the autism reviewer's expenses and allowances. Are members content with the amendment? Yeah. So therefore I'll put the question in relation to the clause. Is the committee content with clause 5 as amended? Yeah, thank you. The committee is content with clause 5 as amended. Moving on to clauses 6 to 8, which include the interpretation, the commencement, and the short title. Is the committee, and I will go straight to the question here again, there were no amendments indicated here. Is the committee content with clause 6 as drafted? Yeah, thank you, members. The committee is content with clause 6 as drafted. In terms of commencement, Is the committee content with clause 7 as drafted? Yeah, the committee is content with clause 7 as drafted. Thank you, members. And the short title, and I'll again put the question, is the committee content with clause 8 as drafted? Yeah, thank you. So the committee is content with clause 8 as drafted. So moving on, members, then to the long title, and I will put the question, is the committee content with the long title of the bill? Yeah, thank you. The committee is content with the long title as drafted. Members, that completes our formal clause by clause consideration of the bill. We will now move into the closed session to look at our consideration of the draft report. So I will just go back to the clerk there to see, clerk, can you take us out of open and go into closed session for the consideration of the draft report? Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. I'll just let you know as soon as that happens.
Yeah, thank you.